in a monster fourth quarter. That 33-point differential, the largest in NFL history. But did you save any for this one, fellas? 17-point favorites against the Texans. That's going to be the biggest spread of the season, more likely than not. Opening drive of the game, that's Tony Pollard remaining on a tear. Pollard in for the touchdown. Then second quarter, this time through the air, Pollard walking the tightrope, in for 6 more. Cowboys up 14-0. But then, after a Dak interception, here comes Houston. Spin the quarterback wheel there in Houston. It's Jeff Driscoll this go-around. Amari Rodgers hauling one in to make it 17-14. Houston in front. Third quarter now, still same score. Zeke stacked up on 4th and goal. That's a turnover on downs. Houston hangs on. Desmond King, Christian Harris there on the stop. Dallas in trouble. Just under 6 minutes to play. Cowboys down 3 from their own 3. Dak picked. Traymon Smith, his second of the game. Texans take over at the Cowboy 4-yard line. Just got to punch it in. Just punch it in. 4th and goal. They don't get it. Another goal line stand. This time for the other side. Dallas takes over. Down 3 with just over 3 minutes to play. Got to go the distance. Here comes Dak. A chance at redemption. Throws a strike to Noah Brown. 18-yard gain down to the 22 later in the drive. Elliott. This time he does get in. Dallas, take a deep breath. Out in front 27-23, but is it over? Davis Mills on for a Hail Mary. Eyeing it, uncorking it. Who's down there? Just a bunch of Cowboys. Cowboys get back-to-back 10-win seasons for the first time since 91 through 96. That was back-to-back. Won 3 Super Bowls in that span, if you remember. 27-23 is your final here, as it is a near miss for the Cowboys. 10-3 in a game that looked like it would go the wrong way. Largest spread, largest favorite this season as they were laying the 17. They obviously do not cover that number. Just happy to come away with a notch in the win column. All right, it's a win, and you'll take them in any way, shape, or form, but this was his highest interception rate of the season. Dak, 8 interceptions in his last 6 games. They've been scoring punches in bunches behind Dak this year, and you could look at those splits as well. This offense with him, this offense without him, but this offense needs him to be better. All right, breaking down an all-Texas tussle with Tyler Sullivan and Rick Spielman. Guys, it was spotty there for a moment for the Dallas Cowboys to escape with the win. Tyler, I'll go your way first here because this is a Dallas team, much like we were talking about with Minnesota, sort of I'll believe it when I see it, get to the moment and execute. They just barely execute here on Sunday.
Yeah, and to me, it's been following a theme of Dallas playing down to competition. I feel like we've seen that a lot this season. You can even make a case that it was the scenario last week against the Indianapolis Colts. I know they blew up for 33 points in that fourth quarter, but for 3 quarters, it felt like things were a little dicey there even against Indianapolis. And so for me, that's the most concerning thing about the Dallas Cowboys. They don't necessarily blow teams away that we've seen over the past season. Yes, that game against Indy is, an outlier in that scenario, but it does feel like they play down to competition. So if all of a sudden you're in that first round and you're playing a Tampa Bay Buccaneers team or whoever it may be, don't overlook them, because I feel like they overlooked the Houston Texans in this game, as we were saying, a 17-point favorite. It kind of felt like they thought they could walk into Jerry World and get that win, and ultimately almost didn't. Yes, they get to 10 wins and all of that, but to me, the defense felt a little sleepwalky a little bit. They didn't have any sacks on the day, 1 quarterback hit. To me, that's just as concerning as Dak Prescott continuing those turnovers. If the defense can't get home against Davis Mills, what's that going to be like against Kirk Cousins? What's that going to be like against Jalen Hurts when it gets really into crunch time in the postseason?
Yeah, Tyler, they did get home against Kirk Cousins when Dallas went up there and blew them out, and Cousins got sacked like 22,000 times that game. But this is an example of, regardless of who you're playing in the NFL, and Houston right now is probably the worst team in the NFL, you have to go out and play your best every Sunday, or you have an opportunity to get beat. And fortunately, they were able to escape a huge upset. I mean, the 2 turnovers by Dak Prescott, that created situations that gave Houston a chance. I believe the muff punt also gave Houston a chance to stay in this game. And Houston's defense, for as porous as they've been all year, actually played competitive today. So you can't go in and just roll out the ball and say, hey, we're playing the Houston Texans or whoever we're playing, and we're going to win this game. You have to go out and execute both on the offense, defense, and special team side, or you have an opportunity to get beat. And Dallas, quite honestly, if Dak Prescott didn't take him for 98 yards at the end of the game, they should have gotten.
And low lows. Here's a win in a low for this Dallas team as we take a look at your top fantasy performers. Dak, Dameon Pierce, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, Dalton Schultz, all names that are likely rostered, that are likely starting as you come down the stretch in your fantasy league. It was Pollard scoring 2 early touchdowns, did taper off as Zeke then sort of delivered the body blows down the stretch, got 16 of his own as the Cowboys escaped 27-23 over the Texans. Browns and the Bengals facing off for the state. Bengals enter Sunday on a 4-game heater. However, 4 is the operative number here. Joe Burrow 0-4 in his career against the Browns, and there's number 4 making his second start as a Brown. Deshaun Watson coming off a win against his former team in his debut despite his worst passer rating of his career early second quarter. You know how it goes. Burrow to Chase. Bengals up 7-0 after a slow start. Chase's 20th career receiving touchdown. Now 30 seconds left in the half. You got to win the middle 8. Samaje Perine out of nowhere. Got to get into the ground, fellas. 6-yard touchdown as he takes the contact and extends the play. Bengals up 13-3. Last 2 drives, 18 plays, Bucs 62 touchdowns, finding their groove. Mid-third, flea flicker. Burrow, Trenton Irwin behind everybody. 45-yard touchdown, draw it up. Bengals up 20-3, Irwin's second receiving touchdown of the season. Next Browns possession, Deshaun Watson out to David Njoku. Look at the effort. Dives in for the touchdown. Watson's first touchdown pass as a member of the Browns. His first touchdown pass since week 17 of 2020. 707 days for those keeping track at home. Late in this one, Browns down 23-10. 4th and goal. Watson incomplete as he targeted Donovan Peoples-Jones. Great coverage there by Cam Taylor-Britt. Bengals go on to win this one by that score, 23-10. It's their 9th win in their last 11 games after starting the season 0-2. Joe Burrow collecting his first ever win against the Browns. I'd venture to say it will not be his last. Burrow, 18 of 33 for 239 and 2 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, the main benefactor, 10 for 119 and a touchdown. Earlier on HQ pregame, Jason La Canfora, Tyler Sullivan handed out the Bengals -4. You watch, you wager, you win. Here's Jamar Chase postgame with AJ Ross.
Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase, no T. Higgins, no Tyler Boyd, no problem. You had 10 catches, 119 yards, a touchdown. Joe Burrow spread it around to several different receivers. Yeah. How does this team keep finding new ways and adapting every week, finding a way to win?
Yeah, we just came out with it was a bit of a twist game plan at last minute. We had some good opportunities. Appreciate it. We had some good opportunities, and the coverages, we took advantage of it, and we just making plays. Zach told me before the game he's just gonna try to give me the ball and make something happen. So that was the game plan for real.
Cleveland has had your number. They've won the last 5 games in this series, last 8 of 9, dating back to 2018. But your defense really ended that streak today, especially limiting the Browns' run game to less than 100 yards. How impressive were they?
Yeah, our defense is one of the best in this league right now, especially in the AFC. They've been doing their thing week in and week out, and I can't be more proud of those guys right now.
At 9-4, you're still tied with Baltimore for the AFC North lead. Yeah. 5 games left. Very tough schedule still ahead. Is this deja vu for you?
Nah, not really. No deja vu. Just, next game up, taking one game at a time. Got to get back in the lab and we'll be ready for next week.
Congrats, great win.
Thank you.
All right, here's a look at the fantasy numbers out of this one. Burrow gives you a square 20, going 239, 2 touchdowns, and a pesky interception. Deshaun started slow, found some points late in this one, 18 points. He goes for 276, does get on the board in terms of his first touchdown pass as a Brown. Joe Mixon button his head.